Hi, welcome to Debrief.ai. My name is Thibaut Imbert, and I'm the Chief Product and Growth Officer here at Debrief. Debrief was built by marketers for marketers to help you accelerate your campaign lifecycle process. What we've observed is that all marketing teams really function as a loop, where the team has to ideate, understand what works and how to beat their competitors. Then they have to create assets, sometimes and very often in high volume, different resolutions and sizes across all channels. Then they need to publish these ads across all the different platforms. And then they need to report on these campaigns. I have been a marketer. I know the work that it is to do that all the time. More channels, more variations, more sizes, more customers, more demand. And it's just a lot. And so what we thought, can we actually create a product that functions as a loop, that understands marketers and really uses AI to accelerate the productivity across each aspect of that loop? So that's why we built Debrief. Debrief, and I'm going to show you that in a second, is organized around 4 agents. We call them the 4 agents of the product or the 4 experiences. But really what they are is there are 4 different experiences in the product that you can use to accelerate your productivity as a marketing organization. So after sign up, when you land into Debrief, you will see 4 different elements in the navigation. These are the 4 experiences that I mentioned in the intro. They are what constitute the loop of a marketing team. Discover for ideation, create for the production, launch to publish your campaigns and ads, and optimize to understand the performance of your campaigns. So you're going to land by default on create, and you can see here we are going to pretend that we work for Skip the Dishes, a cool food delivery app in Canada. And when you sign up for Debrief, we ask you to upload your logo, put your brand, and that automatically creates a brand kit. So you can see here, that's my default brand kit. And what we're going to do, we're going to start with Discover. So let's go to the Discover experience. When I arrive in the Discover experience, you can see here that I have the competitive intelligence section and mood board. We're going to start with competitive intelligence. Competitive intelligence is an area where you can add any brand that you want to monitor to look at what they're doing. It can be competitors, but it doesn't have to. It can be literally any company. To add a competitor, it's super simple. You go to add competitor and then you put the name of the brand. If I wanted to add Deliveroo, for instance, it would show up, but automatically we will find from your brand kit, given we know the name and the URL, we will use a little bit of AI to determine what are some other competitors that you could be looking at. We will be looking always at competitors that are not already in your list. I've added here a few. So if I'm working at Skip the Dishes, probably my competitors are going to be Uber Eats, Grubhub, and DoorDash. So once a company is added, you can see inside the section here, I can look across all the different channels. What we do here is we look at the ads that these companies are running by using the public APIs from Meta, Google, LinkedIn, and so on. And we aggregate all that into one feed, which allows you to save a ton of time. Personally, as a marketer, I've had to do this myself so many times. Aggregate all these ads, do screenshots, put them into a Miro or a Figma to realize that I need to do this again because I forgot one channel. Now you can just do that very quickly inside Debrief within this Discover experience by using mood boards and just sending all your ads to mood boards to jam on them. We're going to look at that in a second. So from here, you can look at these ads. You can see quickly that there's a combination of, seems like a little bit of UGC, user-generated content, some more polished ad. I can see a lot of coupon stuff, like a wide range of ads. I can also play them.
Order on Uber Eats.
A little bit of ASMR vibe here. I can download them. And if I click on an ad, I can see the detail. I'm gonna have some information about the format, the status, the CTA, the landing page that this ad takes people to. So this is pretty powerful to very quickly see what these brands are doing. Now I can look at these sections and we're using AI to extract insights from that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go look at AI insights, and here you can quickly see that, okay, this is the total number of ads they're running, heavily focused on Meta. I can see the hooks, what are the main hooks, the main copy that they're leading with. Very quickly, I can see that the coupon for the $15 or euro discount is one of the leading hooks. Then I can see also some offers with some code. So heavily leading into the kind of discount to potentially drive acquisition. I can see here the main CTAs. They're leading mostly to use the app and signing up. I can also look at the landing pages, and I can also look at the AI chat. The landing pages is quite helpful to understand which landing page these ads point people to and understand the experience end to end. Then I can also go to the AI chat, and the AI chat is a chat where what we do is you can use a large language model. We're using here Sonnet 4.0 from Anthropic, and we are augmenting this large language model with the data from the ads. What we do is we basically pass all of that context to the large language model so that you can converse with it and ask information about it. Something that a traditional GPT or Claude or Gemini out of the box wouldn't have context on. So here we automatically generate some prompts that you can use to explore, to understand the cross-platform campaign strategy differences. Here, what are the potential targeting gaps and keywords that I can use at Skip the Dish, or for instance, some details that I want to have on how can I, at Skip the Dishes, use different messaging to outperform Uber Eats approach. What I did here is I went with my own prompt. I said, what's been Uber Eats' focus on most ads recently? And you can see that actually it's reiterated on the point about new user acquisition focus with these key markets where they're focusing heavily on discounts. And it's giving me some insights about also their creative insight. They're using a lot of video and some key strategic opportunities for me at Skip the Dishes. For instance, it's telling me that maybe I want to tap into more of the loyal local community and emphasize loyalty in Canada and try a campaign around that. And you can see the agent will always ask a question to follow up, and you can jam with the agent and go more deeply and get some more insights. What we do here is all of these ads are not stored, so you cannot go back to a long time ago, like 3-6 months. We would love to build something like that in the future. So these are ads that are running right now that you can look at and query and use AI to get insights from. Okay, now that you have access to these ads, what could you do to actually use that to generate new ideas with your team? Well, guess what? We have built the mood board feature for that. So what I can do at any time under any ad, I can click on add to board, and from here I can create a new mood board or actually add that ad to a specific mood board. Here I'm gonna, for instance, take this one and add it to the fall campaign, add it, and automatically it's added to the mood board. If I go here, I find my mood board and I can see my ads that have been added. Here you can see I can scroll, and here you have an infinite canvas where you can invite your team and jam with your team on. I can click share. This link can be sent on Slack or email. Anyone can be an editor or a viewer, and anyone with multiplayer mode can come here, add stickies, add text, upload some elements. You can drag and drop things from your desktop. You can add all kinds of inspiration. You can use this as a mood board. So you can see here, I saved some ads that I liked and I put some comments. Griffin from my team put some comments as well. And now we're jamming and iterating and using that as a kind of like a brainstorming canvas. Now you can use that for brainstorming, and that's great. And that's really helpful because you can go seamlessly from these ads that inspired you to that creative canvas for mood boarding. But what you can also do is use the mood board to generate assets based on a specific vibe or a specific asset that you like, to really kind of like generate asset at the speed of thought and really enable vibe marketing for your team. So for instance, I have here in this example some shots that I like. Here I made a note that this looks yummy and that I think we should do more top camera shots like this. So what I put here, you see it's an infinite canvas. So I'm gonna zoom out and check this out. I have some more content here. And what my team did is that they added some ideas here, some Mediterranean spices and Indian spices and some Top Shot style that they like, and even a mango lassi. And what they wanted to do is to generate here some different dishes, different images for different types of dishes. For instance, one team suggested that we create a campaign for Indian food. Another team suggested that we create a campaign for Mediterranean food. And now we're thinking, wow, okay, let's actually generate some visuals for that, for different campaigns for promotion of different types of food. So what I can do, I can come here And with the media assistant, I uploaded these from images that I found online that I thought were inspiring to generate new content. And what I can do, I can select here from the stage with the little selector tool, I can go and select images. So I'm going to take, for instance, those Indian spices, and I'm going to also select this one. And this combines something that would be hard to describe with a prompt, right? I like the composition of that. I'm not going to prompt and say, hey, add a lemon here and I want 1, 2, 3, 4. No, you just say, I like that style. I like those spices. Can you create something that combines those two elements? So I'm going to select 4 variations. You can select here the model that you want to use. You can choose between Google Gemini 2.5 Flash, codename Nano Banana, or Flux Context that we use from Black Forest. And you can play with these 2 models. They are image models that are top tier image models and see the results that you get and what you prefer. I'm going to use here Nano Banana Gemini 2.5, and I'm going to say change all the dishes to Indian food, and I'm going to say integrate the spices naturally in the scene. We're going to enhance the prompt. Automatically, when you enhance the prompt, we pass those images to the model and we ask the model to rewrite the prompt. It's always a good practice to enhance the prompt so that the model has a better prompt to work with. And what we're going to do, we have a colleague that suggested that we also add the mango lassi. So let's not forget this. I'm going to then select the mango lassi and I'm going to say add the mango lassi, enhance the prompt. The mango lassi is going to be integrated inside the prompt, and I'm going to say top camera shot view. Okay, let's go. All right, check it out. It has generated beautiful imagery around Indian cuisine. I have here my food. I'm not an expert in Indian food. Of course, with AI, you always want to generate things and then check accuracy. This is looking really good. Here, this one is not good. This was from a previous generation. This one is looking beautiful as well. And this one as well. I recognize some famous classic Indian dishes here. And we even have our beautiful mango lassi with the pistachio topping. It looks delicious. Now, what I could also do, I could, let's say, do the same thing for Mediterranean food. So I could come here and just replace and say, transform dishes into Mediterranean cuisine. And I'm going to replace the spices. I am going to select this time those spices that are more Mediterranean vibe. And I'm going to remove the lassi. Let's enhance this. Now the prompt has been enhanced. Transform dishes into Mediterranean cuisine with vibrant spices in a cozy, warmly lit dining setting. Great. Top-down view. Let's go. All right, this one didn't work well. This one worked really well, and this one worked really well as well. So let's look at that. Okay, this looks much more definitely like a Mediterranean vibe. I have here maybe the fries. I'm not a big fan of that, so maybe I would want to exclude that. But overall, this looks really, really nice. Once you have generated these things from the mood board, what you can do, you can come here and to create things from that, you can select any image that you generated and you can click on the more option on this little menu and you can save to your brand kit. When you do that, it is saving automatically that asset in your brand kit, and that is going to allow you to go into the editor when we're going to cover create. And what you can do there, we're going to be able to import these things directly into the editor. So if you were wondering, hey, this is great, now I've generated these things, how do I turn that into something with text and animations and turn that into an ad and a campaign? That's what we'll do in create, and this is the way you can directly pass that to the editor to go and create seamlessly. You don't have to download this manually and re-upload it later. This is a much better workflow. So you can see how quickly with the mood board feature, you can vibe and really generate asset at the speed of thought with your team collaboratively. So let's recap. You can use this infinite mood board for two main use cases. One, bringing assets from the ad library and save these ads and add comments and allow your team to collaborate and look at these ads to generate new concepts, new ideas to better compete and stand out from your competitors. And then another thing is is to generate new assets based on these assets and these things that inspire you, that you can bring to the mood board and use the image models to generate new things. I didn't show this in this example, but you can also generate video from this with going from a text prompt to video. And so really, we think you're gonna have a lot of fun doing that with your team. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed that presentation about what you can do with Discover. Let's now go to Create and see all the amazing things that we can do with the brief, with the Create experience. All right, see you there. So now what I want to show you is how you can create things from the chat, and here we call it the Create agent. So I have here another example. This is a brand kit for Mavis, a furniture brand, fake brand, just for the purpose of the demo. And what I want to do is I want to create something from the chat. So what are we going to do here is I'm going to ask to generate something for me. If you select the chat, you see that we're going into AI mode, and you see that the interface is getting filtered. You can see we only see the chat and then the prompt. This is because you're getting into AI mode. In this mode, we really want you to be focused. Okay, this is what you can do starting from AI. If you unselect that, you're going to see more of the traditional ways of generating or creating your design, importing a PSD, a Figma, or even starting from a template. You can see here all of the templates that we have, but with AI, what we wanted to do is accelerate the time to value. Can we reduce the time it takes to get to a result without having necessarily to go to the editor and do things manually? So we're introducing here 4 media types that you can generate with AI. You can use here the ad type, product photography, AI video, and UGC video. So we have historically, as the brief, been a product before that you might have known as Creatopy, and we've been historically focused on ads, and that's been really kind of like our key focus, and a lot of our customers have loved being able to do that in the product to create ads. But we understand that it's important for marketing teams to create more than just ads. Product photography is an important use case. If you have a website, let's say you're into e-commerce, you're an Amazon seller, or you have a Shopify website, and you have a product catalog, and you're spending a lot of time and budget and energy in doing photo shoots, we have something here amazing for you where AI is going to be able to generate backgrounds for you at the speed of thought. AI video, we're integrating Google VO3 so you can express what you want to create as a video with a prompt, and we will create a high quality, stock quality video that fits exactly your requirements. Last but not least, we're also supporting UGC video. UGC for user generated content. These are the videos that you've seen on TikTok, where these ads are user-generated videos that have captions, considered sometimes more authentic and more genuine and very popular. We now let you also create such videos with the brief. So what I can do, I can upload here an image coming from my brand kit. I'm going to select this chair, and let's imagine I want to create an ad for that chair coming for a campaign. I want to promote that new collection. I'm going to say, put this chair in a cozy, modern living room. Automatically, you notice that it understands that I want to put this product into an environment, so it understands the intent, and we are in product photography mode. So I'm going to select Gemini 2.0 Flash. It's selected by default. Here I could select many variations. I'm going to actually ask for 4 different variations, and let's go. Now, the agent is going to use the model, come back with different variations, and I'm going to be able to jam with the agent and iterate. The agent is using different models behind the scenes, sometimes Black Forest Flux, or sometimes Gemini 2.5 Flash if you specify, but also our own technology when it comes to generating something that's going to be fully editable in the editor. One of the things that's special with the brief is that not only it integrates the latest and best models to generate images, but it will generate something that is fully animated and editable in the editor, allowing you to do the tweaks and the edits and get the level of control that you want. Now, check this out. I've asked for 4 variations of my chair placed in a cozy modern living room setting. I can look at them. They all look really, really nice. Look at the quality. it has added here this element on the chair that really kind of like looks super natural. I like this one as well, or this one. I really like this one, though it's covering the chair a little bit too much, but I like this one. So I'm going to pick this one, and what we can do is we can generate an ad from this. But I could also ask, because this is an agent and because it's using an LLM behind the scene, just like, you could do in ChatGPT, you can ask, it's for an ad for the US market. Which environment do you think would work best to promote this chair and make it really compelling to buy? And now the agent is coming back with some recommendation. It would be bright, inviting living room with modern yet cozy decor. And it tells me that US consumers respond well to aspirational, reliable spaces, open layouts, natural light, and a mix of comfort and style. Would you like to proceed with generating ad visuals using this environment? Yes, I'm gonna actually say, let's generate a new variation using your suggestion. Now it's asking me for the channel. I'm going to say it's for Google Ads to drive sales. And I'd say, please use the copy comfort in style. Now, what we're doing here behind the scenes, we're going to find what is the best design that fits your brand using your brand kit details, that image, the channel that you've selected, the copy, and we're going to generate a design, an editable design. So here's what the agent comes back with. What I can do here is I can actually go and edit that. This is really cool. I can download or edit them. Notice that they're all animated out of the box. This is really, really cool. I really like this one, but I also tempted to use this one. I don't know which one you guys prefer, but I could actually come and edit in the ad studio. I'm gonna click on this one. And notice that this is fully editable. So here, this is text. Everything is using here my logo, the text. This is a CTA, and everything is editable. Here's some other examples that I've generated. This one or this one here, where I've actually asked to create more of a cozy vibe with some lights. I've added a little dog. All of that just using prompts. I could also create more. Here's another one it generated for Google Ads, where I have here some more sophisticated elements. It is really amazing. Now, is this going to generate something that's like ready to be published? I mean, that's our goal. Now, with our test, we believe it's going to get you 90% there. And once you're here, you can actually just make the small tweaks that you want, such as the CTAs or some other details that maybe the agent simplified, and you can export that. Now, the thing that I want to show you is, because you now have generated something that's fully editable in the editor, you are able to do all the things that you would do in the editor. So AI is really integrated in generating things that work natively with the rest of the platform. One of the things that's really powerful with the brief is that you can generate variations. To do that, you can use the feature called feed. And if I click on the feed, what I can do, I can select a product, I can select a feed. Here I have created some feeds as examples. And if I click on this one, what I can see is I have connected the feed feature to a spreadsheet. Now, the feed is a feature that allows you to create variations, and you can connect the feed to any endpoint that generates a CSV file. So think about it, product listing, like product catalogs, you might have a database. As long as your endpoint generates a CSV, it can be as simple as a spreadsheet with CSV export in the settings. You can then parse that, and automatically all the columns are going to show up here. So now let's imagine the inventory team is giving me access to the title of the chair, the description, the CTA, the image, the price, the brand, and all these elements. I can actually use that in my design. So what I can do is say apply feed, and you can see that all of my design that was generated with AI is now connected to dynamic data. I can see here that each layer, I can do the mapping. So I can see the headline layer here is connected to the title column in the CSV. I can change that, and then I can also connect it. Once I do that, automatically in the editor, notice that now we're going into this variant and row mode where I can scroll through my catalog. How amazing is that? And then what you can also do is you could decide that you want to connect some elements of your design to a variable. For instance, if I wanted the background to be connected to the background property in my CSV, I could just bind that property with this variable, and now all of my designs have a dynamic color. I can go to preview, and when I do that, I can now preview all of my designs. They're all connected dynamically. That means that if my design inventory team makes changes to the name, to the copy, the marketing team changes anything, even if they replace the asset, I can automatically just re-export everything without having to touch really the design individually and manually. It can be done automatically. Now, this is really, really powerful, and I hope and I think you're gonna love that feature. One other thing I wanted to show you is what you can do with these models to bring static images to life, and how you can also compose designs and ads using AI and the latest models. So here I have a template that I have opened. I have started customizing it. I have my logo. I have some text. I'm going to change it to summer collection. And what I want to do is I want to create an ad for my brand here, the Daemon, and I have some things. I have a chair. I'm going to bring that chair here on the scene. And what I want to do is I want to create an environment that do some product photography to transform this chair into something a little bit more exciting. This is here a simple catalog image that came from the production team or the photo team. I can go to AI image. I'm going to go to product photography, and I can say, put this chair on a Mediterranean terrace. I'm going to enhance the prompt. Automatically, the asset that you have on the scene is being passed to here, the model. Here we selected Gemini 2.5 Flash, and we're enhancing the prompt. It understands that this is a red chair, and it's enhancing the prompt to make my image, the result, look better. It's always a good idea to enhance your prompt. We're not charging any credits for you to enhance your prompt because it's just part of, how the product should work. We should do our best to give you the best prompt so that you can generate the images. Okay, let's see what this comes back with. Look at that. I am going to take this one. We're going to scale it. And now that I have my image here, I can do this. And I have something that looks pretty great. Look at the quality of the image. It preserved, because Gemini 2.5 Flash and also Black Forest Flux Context do a really good job at preserving the consistency. One of the things that's been really hard with the AI is preserving the consistency of your products. The models now are really, really good at this. So you can see it hasn't invented a new chair. It hasn't affected the chair. This is our chair, but now in the environment that we want. So let's say I want to have more of the natural scene with the flowers and things. I can preview that. Let's look at what this looks like as a story. Okay, you can see that my logo is actually a little bit too much in overlapping with the icon of the brand. So now this is looking good. I can preview that. I like the animation. I am going to add a little bit of color. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to take the color here and maybe change that to white. Okay, I like this. Let's reduce that a little bit and let's move it here. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to make changes to that image. Let's say I want to add some things in the back. I want to add some boats. What I could do, I could come here and say, add some boats in the sea in the back. I'm going to say some small boats. Let's enhance the prompt. Let's generate and let's have fun. Okay, so now it's coming back with my image edited, and it has added the boats. I like this one. I like that. So you can see, you can start making the changes really at the speed of thought. You don't have to really go back to Photoshop. You can just make these changes here natively inside the editor. What I can do is I can also bring this to life. So what I could do, for instance, is I could go to image to video, and I could add a prompt to make this scene move. For instance, I could say, add a little bit of life to this scene. And if I enhance the prompt, here we're using Google VO3 to bring this scene to life. If I see what it came back with, it's, for instance, suggesting a gentle breeze rustling the leaves of the potted plants. So what I'm gonna do here is generate that and see what this comes back with. I have two aspect ratios, 16:9, 9:16. We're using Google VO3. Maximum duration is gonna be 8 seconds. That's a hard limitation right now from Google's model, but this is plenty for a story. So let's generate that. In the meantime, let me show you another example that I generated. You see here the animation of the leaves with the little bougainvillea, and then the reflection here, the shadows. This is really adding a little bit of life, and this is making the animation look very natural. Very quickly I was able to generate something that looks stunning. So now let's look at the video that it has generated. I'm gonna go back to image to video, and I can see here the video that this generated. This is actually scaled up here, so I'm going to do this and scale it down and preview our little animation. Okay, now let's zoom a little bit and let's look at it. See how it added a little bit of life? This is really, really nice. The camera is not moving. There's a little bit of motion. We can see that the shadow here is really, really well done. It feels natural, not too much motion. I really like this vibe. This is really, really cool. Now you can see some other examples here that I've generated. Here is another example with the same vibe. Different image as a starting point with this little bougainvillea, even more, I'd say, compelling scene. And let's play that. And you can see here also as well that it has added a little bit of life. I really like to use a little bit of motion, especially with AI, because there can be some hallucinations sometimes when you do very drastic changes, but it works really, really amazingly well, especially for marketers, for us to, just like what you would do with cinemagraphs, where it adds a little bit of motion as a loop. You can use image to video to really create different variants with different motion, and it works really, really, really well. Okay, so now let's look at how do we launch these things. All right, now let's talk about launch. How do we export and launch the awesome things that we've built with the brief? So if you go to the left, this is the launch agent, and here we are still working on it. The launch agent is an agent that we're working on that will let you publish your campaigns automatically by making smart recommendations and suggestions for you on your targeting, on your audience, on the channels, and even on your spend. You can enroll now to get access to it as soon as possible. We're building it. Now, the thing that I want to show you obviously is that you can export and publish to channels more manually directly from the editor, and so that's what we're going to see now together. So here I am in a design. Remember the design that we generated with AI? That's another thing that was generated here with AI. I have opened it in the editor and I can export. So within the editor you can export and publish to different channels. So if I click on export, I want to walk you through the different options. First, you have download, and of course you can export to the different file formats you expect: JPEG, PNG, WebP, HTML5, and so on. The most popular formats are PNG, HTML5, and more MP4, because you want these assets to move, and MP4 is going to allow you to have better color, smoother frame rate than GIF, which surprisingly is still super popular for compatibility, but has drawbacks such as huge file size and limited color palette. So most of the time you might be using HTML5 or MP4 or PNG or JPEG depending on your requirements. If you select MP4 or HTML5, I'm going to select, you're going to have different options such as the frame rate, the size. You can even define a specific rule for how you want your assets to be named. So this is for export and publish. If you go into ad serving, this is a feature that allows you to automatically publish your ads from the platform, and we're going to host them so that you don't have to worry about the different file size requirements that all the ad networks have. It's just going to be easier for you to manage. So how does that work? So what I can do, I can go to Export, Ad Serving, open the Ad Serving panel, and here I can click Enable. When I do that, automatically we generate the code that can be used to visualize your ads hosted with some custom JavaScript. So here you can see that there's different ad networks that you can choose. You can select from 30+ ad networks that you might want to be using to publish your ads. The value here, again, as I said, is that by using this feature, you don't have to zip these assets and upload them to all these different providers. You can publish directly from within the brief. You don't have to worry about, size limitation, the specific requirements that each provider might have. We just abstract all that and take care of this. You can use the click tag if you want to pass that information dynamically. You can also specify the URL that you want to use. You can specify where do you want to open the URL to a new tab, the same tab. And then you can also use things such as dynamic text, which is pretty powerful. And I'm going to demo that to you in a second. Every time you make a change to the design, let's say I'm going to move something, the export and publish button is going to be updated and is going to show unsynced. What you want is to always keep things updated. Now, the magic of ad serving is that it's automatically synced. Every time you make a change, you just update the live content and your ad is going to be updated. Your change is propagated automatically to all the different ad networks. Now, what does that look like? Well, it's very simple. Here, I have copied the HTML code and I'm running it here in this HTML renderer. And you can see I can run the ad and automatically things are running and hosted, and I can see my ad rendered properly here. I could change the size and you can see that everything works beautifully. Now, what I want to do is I want to show you something really, really cool. What I can do is I can also pass dynamic data. Why would you want to do this? Well, let me show you an example. In this example, I have a variable, and very often in marketing, you want to pass a variable or you want to modify something dynamically. We have customers at The Brief that use this for passing live data around discounts or mortgage rates or any kind of like information that you want to pass dynamically. We have some companies that pass live scores from games if you're in the betting industry. This is really, really powerful to make the ad more personalized, more relevant, and personalized to even people's location or an event that's happening right now. So here, let's imagine that my marketing team wants to run a promo and they're asking me to integrate that promo 20% off in this ad. Instead of hard coding that, I can just pass a variable called discount. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into export and publish, go to ad serving, and you can see that in dynamic text, I have the variable discount. And I have a placeholder value. I can add as many variables as I want. When you click on that, you can pass a custom variable or actually use automatically the city, the country, or the region. So these are predetermined variables that we can query. Now, if I pass a variable such as discount and I have the placeholder as 20% off, if I export with ad serving and I run the code, automatically this is going to run with the placeholder value. Now notice that this is animated, this is integrated beautifully, it's not added on top, it feels completely integrated and as if it had been designed with that value. Now the magic is I can go to here, the discount tag, and I can change this to 15%. Or maybe another value. Let's say the team thinks it's too aggressive. We can just update that. You don't have to change anything from a design standpoint. The performance marketing team can just make that change and customize the ad. It's really awesome. I could also decide that it's the end of the offer and we're gonna do a little, 25% off for an extra week. No problem. I can just update the variable and the design is updated accordingly. Awesome. Okay, now what I can also do is export to Meta directly from the platform. What I can do, I can go to export and publish on Meta, and here you have two options, single creative or DPA catalog. If your design doesn't have multiple sizes, you will not have a DPA catalog option enabled. So here in this example, I just have one single design. So I'm gonna go with single creative. Here you can see already what your design is gonna look like as an ad on Facebook. I have here access to our account. I'm going to confirm. You can connect your account here with a few clicks, self-serve. Then I have access to my business page, to my Facebook page, and then add account. I can confirm, and here automatically I can select a campaign. I'm going to select the spring campaign. I'm going to say it's this ad set, and I'm going to create a new ad. I'm going to call it Here Vibe Chair. And here I can actually add the link. I can just click confirm and publish now. And if I do that, I'm gonna actually see that my ad was created and I can go to my Meta account and make sure that everything is configured properly to launch my campaign. That's as simple as that. A few clicks and you're good to go on Meta. And that's it, my ad was created. Now you can see we created a draft campaign in Meta for you. You just have to go to Meta, finish setting up your campaign, and you're ready to go. Another thing you can do is publish directly to Google. So if you go back into your home, one of the shortcuts you'll find is create new. You can create a new design from many different places from the product, but I'm going to use here create new. And here you're going to see in the get started, we have display ads. When you do that, you have access to display design set or performance max set. Performance max is a type of campaign that Google is now supporting that is using AI to do a lot of the optimization and abstracting a lot of the complexity of the configuration of the campaign. And you also have the traditional display design set. I'm going to select display design set. One of the things unique about the brief is that you have already all of these templates with all the sizes for display campaigns. So what I'm going to do is select one of them. I will go and pick this one. And I have all of the size already here available. Let's imagine that this is my campaign. These are all the ads for my Google campaign. Publish on Google, and here I can select the different channels that I want to publish to. I can publish to Google Ads, Campaign Manager 360, or Display and Video 360. In this example, I'm going to use the classic Google Ads, and here you can select your account. I have connected my company email associated with my Google Ads account. I'm going to select confirm. And here we're going to pull automatically the details. So I have here a test campaign. I can select an ad group. I'm going to create a new ad group. And here I can select image ad or HTML5. You should be using image ad if you have just a static asset, but if you have animations and videos, it's recommended to use HTML5. So I'm going to do that here, and I'm going to put here the website. All right, confirm and publish. Now, automatically, we will publish the creative and the specific ad group. And voila, my ad was created in Google Ads. I can now go to Google Ads to review and make additional changes. So let's head to Google Ads. And here I have my test campaign and my ad groups. Let's refresh. And you can see I have my new ad group that I can rename that's been created. I have here all the different sizes that's coming from my ad set. Let's go and look at any of them. I can click here on the little edit, and I can see my ad. And here we are in Google Ads. All of the ads have been published, ready to be edited and launched. Simple. That's it for launch. I hope this was clear on the many ways you can export your content from the brief to publish your campaigns and have impact. Okay, now let's look at optimize. Any good marketing team will report on the performance of their campaigns. That's the most important thing. How are campaigns performing? Today, you have to use all kinds of different tools, Google Ads and Meta and reporting tools, and you have to put that into spreadsheet and do a lot of manual work. And what we did with the brief is we thought, what if we provided a way directly within the platform to do reporting on how the campaigns are performing? So this is what you can do with the Optimize experience, with the Optimize agent. So what we do here is we give you an overview of the different platforms that you can connect to. We support, by the time of recording of this video, Google Ads and Meta, and we're working on TikTok and LinkedIn. That allows you to just log in and from one place, go look at the performance of your campaigns. We are using here the same data that's coming from these providers, and we're aggregating all that in one place just to make it convenient so you don't have to switch across 4 tabs and juggle around the different interface of these platforms. So that should save you quite some time, and we think that's great. Now, what you can also do from here is you can look at the cost, the clicks, the conversion, the different variables. You can look at the time window. You can also select your different accounts, because accounts have specific sub-accounts associated with them, and so you can select that. You can also search for campaign, and you can also click here and decide if you want to sort by cost conversion or impression, and actually do that type of sorting to organize the summary. The thing that makes it agentic is the AI chat. What we do with the AI chat, if you looked at the video for Discover or Create, where you were able to chat with the agent to create things or give you insights about different brands and competitors, you can do the same thing here with your live data from your campaigns. What we're doing behind the scenes, we're using an AI model, in this case Sonnet 4.0 by Anthropic, and we're augmenting that model with your live data. So unlike a ChatGPT GPT or Gemini or Claude out of the box that are not going to have access to your live data. This version, this agent does. And this is where it gets really powerful. So here in the chat, you can ask for any information about your campaigns. To connect your campaigns, you can just click on the plus button and you can connect your Google ads or your Meta ads. We're also working on Pinterest and TikTok and LinkedIn support as we speak. Once this is connected by just clicking 2 steps with your Google account or your Meta account, you are ready to go. And so now what I can say, I can ask anything. I can ask for performance reporting. I can ask to generate reports or improving results. We're giving you here some ready-made prompts, but you can really ask anything. So if I say, how are my campaigns performing this week? The model is going to query this data from Google and Meta and reason over that. And we're also giving a lot of context to the agent here with your brand so that it needs to think like a performance marketer, knowing your brand, your competitors, and your live data. So let's see what this comes back with if I ask how are my campaigns performing this week. Okay, so this is now loading and you can see my campaigns performance. It's giving me some ranking, some key performance insights, some weekly summary metrics, and some strategic recommendations. This is really cool. Now I can go back, see that my Performance Heroes campaign, the search campaign, my brand campaign, number of clicks, impressions, conversions is giving me some key performance insights. My search brand campaign shows exceptional performance, indicating strong brand recognition. This is good. My search brand has the lowest CPA. Okay, excellent conversion efficiency. This is really, really awesome. It's kind of like as if I had another partner on the team, a marketing thought partner working with me. It's adding a question at the end if there's anything I want to dig into, such budget allocation or testing strategies or conversion optimization. Before I do that, I can show you some other examples. Here, what I did is I asked for creating a report with my top 5 campaigns by ROAS, which is an industry term for return on ad spend. Here, it generated the report, and when it does that, I can decide to do a few things. I can forward it, I can download it, or I can just preview it. When I do that, you can see here, it generated automatically the code, the HTML, to give me that summary. How awesome is that? I can save so much time by just generating such a report and automate that so that every time I need to report on this, the AI can do it for me. Now, what I can do, I can go back and I can decide to automate that report. If I want to automate the report, I can just click on it. I can call it my weekly ROAS report. I can set it to a frequency by week, my account. I can send it by email or send it on Slack. You can see here our Slack channel is set up. I can pick any Slack channel. For now, I'm gonna just do in-app and I'm gonna create that automation. So at this point, this automation will be reflected in automated reporting. I have here now my weekly ROAS report. And if I go there, every time a report is generated, I'm gonna see it here. You can see I have others here that were generated previously. And if I click on it, I can preview that report that was generated previously. Now, what I can also do, I can ask other things. And like I said, you can ask really many things to this AI. So for instance, I want to show you here, I ask, can you give me a plan by week to reallocate budget to campaign 2? And the reason I did that is because one of the recommendations from the agent here is to shift more budget to campaign 2, given its superior conversion performance. All right, why don't you do it for me? And so the model came back, the agent came back with some recommendation. Here's my current state analysis, how much we're spending per week, and my reallocation plan. It's giving me for each week the budget changes I need to make, what I need to monitor in terms of monitoring for key metrics, what needs to happen if conversion goes below a certain number, and some risk mitigation strategies. This is really an awesome partner that's working with me here. Because the AI has context on your brand kit, because we're passing this information from the brand kit automatically, the AI can reason over the fact that if you are a company over a specific vertical and name, it will understand what the keywords should be, what the competitors you're competing with, and so on. So here I ask, which keywords should I use for campaign 2 to get better reach? And it's going to actually come back here with some recommendation. For us at The Brief, you can see that it's about AI graphic design, it's about AI banner generation or HTML5 banner creator, and it will also go and look at some specific competitors. You can also see that it's giving me some reach expansion opportunities and budget allocation and some success factors. Now, I can go on and on and on here and really show you that for hours. I mean, it's really, really fun to be playing with the agent. So that is something that I recommend you do and you use to really help you discover insights and help you optimize your campaigns. Inside the Optimize section, you will also find analytics and ad serving reports under ad delivery. If you've watched this video, the video from Create, where I showed you the feature ad delivery, the feature that allows you to publish your ads directly to ad networks by hosting your ads on our side, you will be able to report on the performance of these campaigns here. You will be able to report on the performance of these assets by going directly here. You can see analytics, we will be reporting on clicks, impressions, and CTR. You will also be able to generate reports with the ad serving reports by going into here, this option, specify your project, add a breakdown for a specific variable, and then save the report. I can go here, give it a name, a date range, and then even ask if I want my report to be scheduled. So Optimize is where you will be doing the analysis of the performance of your campaigns and your assets being deployed to various ad networks in a centralized way using AI. So that's for Optimize. And this ends the end-to-end walkthrough of the brief, how you can, with the brief, go from ideas to creation, production, publishing, and performance optimization, all within the same platform. I hope you have a ton of fun with the product and a lot of impact. Thank you. Bye.